Hello! In the following, I would like to give you an introduction to the Supplementary International Search. I will explain to you what this is all about, who can ask for it, who can request it, and which international authorities currently offer this service. I would also like to discuss why applicants might consider requesting Supplementary International Search, and if they do, how does it actually work in practice. So what is it? It's an optional procedure under the PCT which was actually requested by PCT users, applicants, agents who wanted to have the option of getting a second international search done during the international phase of the PCT procedure. The reason they asked for this was that they were sometimes faced with the problem that they received the search report from the International Searching Authority and it looked as if everything was okay. Then they entered the national phase with this particular international application, and all of a sudden at that stage the national designated office came up with a new prior art document which hadn't been discovered during the international phase and which nevertheless is extremely relevant to the claimed invention. So in order to be faced with less cases of such a nature, they have asked to introduce a procedure to have a second authority do also an international search, the Supplementary International Search, on the same international application. One of the reasons why this might happen in the national phase was also thought to be linked to the growing linguistic diversity of prior art. Mainly here we're talking about prior art in Asian languages. The current use of the Supplementary International Search is still relatively limited, and I'll come back during my presentation to some of the reasons why we think it is at the moment still relatively limited. Now, who can ask for a Supplementary International Search and which authorities currently offer it? Basically, all applicants can ask for such a Supplementary International Search to be done. However, at the moment, only 6 authorities, 6 ISAs, offer this particular service to applicants. And here we are, this is probably one of the limiting factors of the system, in particular because currently the Asian offices, the Office of China, Japan, and the Republic of Korea do not currently offer Supplementary International Search, which does make the system a little less attractive for applicants at the moment. We do very much hope, however, that in the future more of our current ISAs will join and will also offer Supplementary International Search. So an applicant can request it, and in fact he could not only request one Supplementary International Search, but he could theoretically ask for a Supplementary International Search to be done by all the current 6 authorities. The only limitation which exists, he cannot ask the same office that has already conducted the main international search to now also do the Supplementary International Search. So why might applicants sometime consider filing such a request for Supplementary International Search? We believe that generally the main international search that is done by the International Searching Authority should be sufficient. And we really would only recommend Supplementary International Search in particular cases. So what could those cases be? Well, the cases that we're thinking of is that you may be interested in getting an additional search done by a particular international searching authority, which your receiving office, with which you filed your international application, they hadn't specified that particular ISA. So maybe you want access to a different authority. Why would you want access to a different authority? Well, maybe you think they're really specialized in the particular subject matter and they cover this subject matter particularly well. Or maybe it's because of linguistic reasons. Maybe you suspect that there is relevant prior art out there in a particular language which is more accessible to the office doing the Supplementary International Search than the authority that is in charge and competent for your main international search. Do keep in mind, however, that Supplementary International Search generally does not work in cases where you did not get an international search report. So where you received an Article 17 declaration from the main searching authority, now trying to get a search report through the authority doing a supplementary international search is generally not going to work. Why? Because the authorities are not obliged to do an international supplementary search or a supplementary international search if the main searching authority has not done a search on the claims. Now, if you choose to file such a request, how does it actually work in practice? Well, first of all, each authority is entitled to determine the scope and the fees that they wish to charge for this particular service. And as I just said, the supplementary searching authority will only cover claims which have been searched by the main international searching authority. The search will only cover one invention. So if you have a case where you have multiple inventions in your application and there was a decision by the main searching authority that there's a lack of unity, under the supplementary search system, you will only get search on one of the claimed inventions. You can actually choose which part you want searched, but be careful, don't choose a part which hasn't been searched by the main searching authority because you didn't pay additional search fees. If you choose such a part, the office in charge of supplementary search could turn around and say, well, this particular part hasn't been searched by the main searching authority and we will not do a supplementary search on this particular part. You need, of course, to start the procedure by filing a request, and as you can imagine, there's a form available on our internet site which you can use for this purpose. It's form PCT IB 375. You need to submit this form to the International Bureau within 19 months from the priority date. As you can also imagine, there are fees associated with supplementary international search, and you need to pay these fees to the International Bureau in Swiss francs. There are two fees associated. There's the supplementary search fee, which is fixed by the International Searching Authority offering the service, and there is a supplementary search handling fee that the IB gets to keep for the additional work that we have with these requests. As I said, the supplementary search fee is set by the searching authority, and this is probably another reason why applicants at the moment are more reluctant to use the system, because these fees by the participating offices are set at a relatively high level. In fact, they are as high as the fees that these offices charge if they are the main searching authority. The ISA is supposed to start with the supplementary search as soon as they have the request and the international search report. However, if the international search report is late, they have to start at least at 22 months from the priority date, because that way we want to ensure that the final report coming out of this procedure is available to the applicant at around 28 months from the priority date, which means it's with the applicant in time so he can use it for the purposes of national phase entry. The scope of the search, as I said, is determined by the authority doing the supplementary international search. And these authorities are entitled to exclude certain subject matter, which is referred to in Article 17. And for instance, examples of this is an authority could tell us we're not going to do a supplementary international search in the area of business methods or treatment of the human body, etc. There is a list of subject matter which they can exclude, and they can choose from this list if they wish not to do a search in those particular areas. It's in fact very similar to what also applies to the main international searching authority. Again, claims which haven't been searched by the main ISA do not have to be searched by the supplementary international searching authority. And the offices offering the service can also have certain other limitations. So some offices have told us we're only going to do a maximum of such and such amount of supplementary international searches, or we will only do searches up to a limited number of claims. If there are more claims in it, those additional claims we will not search. The offices offering the service could also determine to what extent they will do a search. So will they do a full search, just like the main international searching authority, or might they only go through certain particular documents documents in a particular language, for instance, which are accessible to that particular office which offers the service. The final report, the Supplementary International Search Report coming out of this procedure, has also, of course, a form. It's form PCT SISA or CISA 501. And this report is actually very similar to the International Search Report. If you're familiar with search reports, it will be very easy for you to also understand and read that Supplementary International Search Report. However, do note there are a few differences. There's no IPC classification. There are no comments on the title and abstract. All of this is left to the main searching authority. And there's also no written opinion established by the Supplementary International Searching Authority. The report is transmitted to the applicant and to the International Bureau. We, of course, then make it available on PatentScope as soon as we have received it. If it's established in a language other than English, we would also translate it into English and make that English translation also available to the public on PatentScope. Of course, designated offices will then also have access to it. So I hope I was able to give you a short overview over the procedure that takes place when someone requests supplementary international search. As I said, we do recommend it only for particular cases, not for all cases where you file an international application. And the final report, which is issued by the authority, is in fact very similar to the International Search Report, but it does offer you a second view, a second opportunity to get feedback from the authorities on relevant prior art. And we hope, of course, with this additional report, plus the main report, the processing of your international application in the national phase will be even smoother and easier for you to accomplish.